could do it. Men can't.
It could have been better as a porn.
Go fuck yourself, Tuffy!
Sorry, because you're so cute and little.
Finish him.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
Well, look who skipped their meds today. And then it was just like, I should drink less.
That's my life. Woo.
Come home to daddy.
All right, say some stuffs.
Some stuffs.
Some stuff. So you're like, I'm still in that red zone where I can continue reoffending for a small period of time where it's still like the same original offense. It's like double jeopardy. You can't get me twice because you still got me on the last one.
I got all these daddy issues.
Welcome to Daddy Issues.
I wanted to talk about something that we won't really talk very... Surprisingly, despite the fact that we're both super into it, we don't talk about it as often. And I had specific questions that kind of came up in not only conversation, but just things that I felt like a lot of people would have questions about. So let me get into it.
Is it Sasquatch?
No.
It's Sasquatch, isn't it?
No. But on the Sasquatch topic, I think that should definitely... We should do a Sasquatch watch.
Oh my God, shall we go camping?
Yeah.
Like record live from the forest?
Yeah, live from the forest. Your forests are probably like magical and have fairies in them. Ours probably just have crackheads, but we'll compare stories at the end with video.
Fun. I'm down for that.
Sasquatch
I don't think
watch.
Yeah, but I don't think we have Sasquatch over here.
I know we don't have it here. So like the
We've got-
video that I get will be really a lot more interesting because now we won't know what I'm getting.
We've got those fucking demon dogs that live on the moors. I could go demon dogs while you're looking for Sasquatch.
You have demon dogs, like possessed animals running free.
No, it's like there's been loads of. There's actually video of it. It's like this big black animal, and it looks like a fucking panther or a massive ass wolf or some big crazy fucking animal that just like is randomly spotted by hikers around.
So like you have a cat squatch.
A cat squatch, yeah.
That's pretty dope, actually.
There's supposed to be a werewolf in Hull too. We're going to be doing an episode of Everyday Nightmares on that one.
Oh, really?
I'll send you the video. There's video footage of it attacking a car.
Holy shit. Okay, so
if we did this, I have to know, would you hope to see Sasquatch? Like, how would you react if
I have different hopes, actually. My hopes are that I find someone who looks so fucking ratchet that I'm like, there it is. That's the missing link, and I fucking got it on camera. You're welcome to Daddy Issues. My goals are to find something that someone else thinks is Sasquatch.
Ah, good goal.
Yeah. Like, I want this person to look so much not like a human being and be such a creature that when they fucking...
But what if it actually is Sasquatch, though?
Okay, well, then that's even better, because then I'm probably going to get rich, and then we don't have to worry about asking people to PayPal us.
Dude, just fucking take the good camera, man. Don't take the fucking blurry camera.
Everybody takes the blurry camera. It's like, you fucks didn't know you were going to see that UFO that day, or that fucking bomb go off. Like, come on, you knew.
Who even has cameras that shit anymore, you know?
My camera phone that I don't barely use. I use it all the time. But, like, my front-facing camera is better now than the shit videos that we see that are supposed to be, like, taken by one of those, you know, actual fucking camcorders. Anyway.
Yeah, it's fucking... Yeah. I hope that if I go to the wilderness, I do not find the giant, terrifying animal. But I hope that instead there are fairies.
I'm sure
and
they
do some weird shit to me. Like, I end up, like, being found 3 days later tripping balls somewhere, and they'll be like, what happened to you? I'll be like, fairies. And they'll be like, okay, sure then, Bongwater.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, in reality, this whole story has already happened before, and it had nothing to do with fucking fairies. Like, okay, so, BDSM. I want to talk about, and I don't know if you can even remember, this is probably like a long ass time ago for you, but do you remember your first BDSM experience?
By myself or with somebody else?
With someone else.
My first ever BDSM or like experimenting with BDSM type activities?
Good question. I hadn't thought of that.
That changes my answer drastically.
Like your first BDSM relationship. Maybe not like just acts of BDSM.
God, I was like in my 20s by the time I had my first full BDSM relationship.
Okay.
Before that, I'd done all the kink stuff, but I'd never had a full power exchange relationship before.
So now
So,
you said something
It's
really,
very different.
really important right there. A full power exchange. That I think
Total power exchange.
I think that's the biggest difference between vanilla and not vanilla. It is like a switch
Yeah.
of power that you choose.
Yeah.
Like someone was asking me, I told you, you know, I did that interview, and this guy was asking, he was like, so what was there a specific experience that strengthened like you knowing that BDSM was for you? And I said, like, I really like the clarity of things and how open and clear and on the table things are, because I feel like in general relationships it isn't like that. Do you feel like I mean, that's not to say though that if you hop up on FetLife, people aren't going to be lying just as much as somebody on OkCupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But there's a very different set of expectations going into a BDSM relationship than there is a vanilla one. By the time you get to the relationship part, like the other person already knows all those weird ass fantasies that you keep secret, all the stuff you like, what you don't like, what you absolutely will not do. Like all of that shit's been discussed already. So there's not that sort of trial and error period that you have with vanilla relationships where you're just getting to know and just sort of trying things out with each other, you know? By the time it gets to that stage, we already know what's up, you know?
yeah,
So
I feel like you said it best when you were like, it's like an interview process rather than a dating process.
Rather than dating, yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, especially if you're going just for a kink relationship and you're not looking for, like, anything other than that. Because then it's like, you do have to have quality. Like, if you're a submissive and you're looking for a dominatrix, let's say, not a professional one, but a dominatrix to form a total power exchange relationship with and be her slave or her submissive, you've got to fucking show her why. Show her what you're worth. What can you do to help her? What can you do to make her life easier? What can you do? Like, what skills do you have? Can you
What do you
build
bring
things?
to
Are you
the
good at
table?
gardening? Are you good at... Exactly. All of that shit is discussed beforehand. So by the time you're getting into a relationship, everyone knows what the other person's expectations are. You know, they know going in, this is what it's going to be. Whether it's like a monogamous forever relationship that one day leads to marriage or a fucking one night thing at a play party, you know going in what the other person expects of you and they know what you expect of them. And I think that is way better than on a vanilla landscape where you don't know shit. You don't even know if this person's real name is what they told you it was, you know?
Yep. So what about, you know, when you are seeing your way out of a BDSM relationship? Do you feel like there are differences between ending a vanilla relationship and ending a, we'll say, chocolate relationship?
Yes, I do. I think that both are equally as painful, but ending a BDSM relationship is like, it's like having two breakups on top of each other, because you're breaking up in the relationship is ending, but also, you know, especially if you're old guard or if you're quite traditional, there's an uncollaring ceremony where they take your collar
It's very
and stuff like that.
painful.
And they
It
release. It's like a releasing of the
Yeah.
sub, You know,
Yeah.
you're being released from there. That exchange is no longer there, and you no longer belong to them, and that adds a whole other dimension to the pain of it. But also, even though I'd
But
say
there's
it's more
like
painful
finality and
because of it,
closure by it.
that's exactly what I was about to say. You have that solemn closure, right? This is over. This has ended, you know?
Yep.
As you can tell with all the talk of my ex on this show, the lack of closure fucks people up.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Once I got closure, it was like, yeah, but until that happens, it messes with your head, especially if you just get ghosted or something. I've not had it happen to me, but I've heard of people being really like in a relationship with someone and they've just, one day they're just gone.
Yep. Happened to me.
They just packed their shit and gone. Did it?
Yeah.
So what happened? Like, were you living together or were you just
At the
like,
time, yeah. At the time, yeah.
and you came home from work one day and all this stuff was
all
gone,
the
or
shit was gone.
really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, was
well,
anything?
I got the
Were
story
you guys
like
fighting or anything? Or?
no, no. I actually was like, it was very abrupt, and you know how some chicks are like, I don't know why. No, I'm not her.
Yeah.
I usually fucking know why, you know, or I have a sense of why.
You can tell like months before the breakup actually happens.
Usually, yeah.
You know?
Like, you can fucking feel them changing. Shit changes.
Yes.
You change. You try changing it,
yeah.
and then you sometimes try holding on to it. Well, I didn't do any of that because I had no idea what was going on. So I legitimately came home. It was like a normal day. He had even texted me that morning.
Seriously? What?
Yep. Yeah.
What did
it
he
was like,
say?
I let
Was
the
he just
dog
like, "Good
out.
morning"?
No, it was like, it was not even, there was no addressing of me. You know, I let the dog out. No, I hadn't said anything. Like, again, we hadn't fought that day. We weren't like fighting. I wasn't actually the type to really fight with you. Like, if we disagree, you know?
Yeah.
So, but, this goes back to my abandonment issues. So, like, I came back to my house, every fucking shred of him was gone. And so at first,
Oh my god.
I was like, he had even taken a photo that was in the frame of two of us and taken it out of the frame and left the frame there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like something
What
I
the
would have
fuck?
expected a chick to do, honestly. Like, chicks do shit like that. Like, really psychotic
So
ones.
did you ever find out?
I did
why he
actually
left?
get the fucking story. So it took 2 years, and I went for a year. And I'm not gonna say I was like hung up on him for a year, but I definitely didn't have closure, and I was hurt. I was really fucking hurt, you know.
Yeah, of course.
He eventually told me that throughout the time that we were together, he fell in love with someone else online, and that he didn't really want to like hurt me, and he didn't really want to break up with me, and he didn't really want to make shit awkward. So he just waited until he could move in with her. And when my lease was coming up, by the way, so I could move in with her. But he didn't want me to think it was me, so he just didn't say anything. That was the fucking explanation. Like,
Wow.
and I said to him, I was like, how do you fucking walk like that and not think that I would think I did something wrong?
I know. That's the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life. It had nothing to do with you. None of that had anything to do with you at all.
Right.
He didn't fucking do it like, oh, I didn't want you to think it had anything. No, bullshit. He was just a pussy.
You were
He was
just a fucking
straight
pussy.
up pussy.
Oh, and by the way, if you cannot fucking face a woman or a man and just be like, hey, I'm done, you kind of suck. You kind of
You shouldn't be
fucking
dating.
suck.
If you can't, it's like in the professional world, right? If you can't fire an employee, you're not going to get on for management. Okay,
Right.
so if you can't fucking break up with somebody, don't date anyone. Don't be in a relationship, because that's a skill you have to have if you're going to be dating at all.
Yeah, motherfucker. If you don't know how to fucking tell me shit's not... Like, I hate... You talked about ghosting. I was ghosted
Yeah.
on kind of a severe level. I'm sure this has happened to other people, though. And I'm sure some of them never got a fucking explanation. The first time that piece of shit cyclist broke up with me, I was ghosted. Like, and it fucked me up. And now I've got abandonment issues. Between that and, like, my upbringing, I am legitimately afraid to get close to people or to let them close to me. Now, you have to show me every fucking thing I need to worry about almost, so that I can decide if I can deal with that and if you're still gonna stick around. And at that point, then I'll let myself get closer. Do you know what a draining ass process that is?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got fucking time to get to know your ass on that level all the time. So I just don't. I just stay away.
Yeah. You know, my ex had a real problem with abandonment issues, and he went to see a therapist about it.
Yeah.
And then the therapist left. Like, the therapist moved.
No.
And he hasn't been back to therapy since. He's like, they'll just go away. I'm like,
Dude. He's like, what about
I was like,
Bob?
that is the most. I was like, that's the most fucked up thing I've ever heard. And he just moved away. And he's like, yeah.
I feel like certain therapists should just not be therapists because they don't understand. You know, it's like, at least make sure the guy had somebody else, you know, on the roster. Like, you don't just fucking like, bye, I'm gonna go be peopling over here.
I hope your abandonment issues get worked out. Good luck.
But this actually leads to something I really think is important, and one of the things that I think is why I crave this lifestyle. If I do have abandonment issues, so I want to know when shit's really done and off the table without having to fucking chase your ass down. I just want to be men about it. Let's just talk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's establish that you're really over this so that I can close that book and move forward and open something else that maybe may work better. And I think it's heartfully selfish for those of us who stay in relationships we don't want because it's convenient or because they're the breadwinner or whatever the fuck the reason is that you came up with this week. If you're unhappy in a relationship, you're justifying that, and that's your own fucking problem. Like, it gets to a point where you can't subject yourself to crazy. No, it's crazy. Start getting crazy and do nothing about the crazy and expect other people to care. No one's gonna care.
They'll care when you shit in their shoes.
They really probably will care if they find shit in their shoes. But, you know, for me, BDSM is how I get away from that headspace. Because I choose so much, because I have so many decisions that are within my control, and no one fucking decides. And I think for most vanilla people, that's super counterintuitive. Most people do not think that in this sort of dynamic, you're free at all.
Yeah.
You know, they
can't. Well, first of all, it's like with straight people when they talk about gay people. It's the same thing with vanillas and muggles and fucking people in the BDSM community because they're just focused on the sexual aspect. They haven't even thought about the psychological and emotional aspects of a relationship. Yeah. It hasn't even crossed their minds because all they're thinking about is, oh, they have weird sex. And that's it. Right. And it makes you wonder with straight people and with muggles, it makes you really fucking wonder what their lives are like to be that sex obsessed all the time. Like,
I can tell you because I fucking
weird,
get DMs from
man.
them. No, I can tell you because I get DMs. We talked about the stages of DMs, like, "Hey, girl, you're beautiful, gorgeous," blah, 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 that without any response will then deflate into, "You're a piece of shit, fuck you, you must be a slut."
Yeah.
You know, it's like the dissension of the conversation that you're not even having. Okay? So I'm gonna read something to you. That is why I don't fucking do vanilla. This is why. Because, okay, so there's two things that you guys should know. So first of all, I am suspect of you if you say you're a dominant. Because, like, we'll see.
You don't have to say that.
Right. I already knew that about you if you're a dominant. Even if you're not a dominant in title or label, you either are or you're not. It's a fucking lifestyle.
Yeah, we can fucking tell.
We can fucking tell.
Right.
So this,
You know how we can tell? We can tell by not noticing that we can tell at first until we're getting them something or doing something because they were just like, hey, do this. And we're just like, okay. And it's like, oh, right. Dominic.
I'm pulling up the conversation. I'm sorry for the lapse in reaction here. But I'm trying to pull up this conversation for you because I was like, reason 5,625 that I will never date vanilla again.
Are you about to hold on a minute? Are you about to read a message that a vanilla person sent you?
Yes.
Like trying to hit on you or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, if you'll just hold on for 2 seconds, we're gonna do a little comparison.
You have these too?
No. I'm pulling up a message I got the other day from someone on FetLife. Now let's compare the type of speech and language used by a member of the fetish community as opposed to by a member of the vanilla community.
You guys can't tell, but Shade is dancing and bouncing and very excited. Yay! Okay, I definitely want to do this because for anybody who's listening, we first of all would love for you guys to call into the show.
Yes.
And if you don't, we're a little sad. The number is 407-984-6919. But if you slide into my DMs on Instagram because you found us there, which is at Daddy Issues Show, I always put up shit about the show there. Our latest episodes and things get announced there. But I say all of this because if you slide into my DMs and start coming at me wrong, you're gonna know you're gonna catch that shade. Like, I go straight to you have a Keebler elf dick if I feel like it.
Did you see the thing I posted on Facebook? That meme that it was a text conversation where a guy sent a dick pic and she was like, why did you just send me a picture of a child's penis? And he put, what the fuck? No. He was like, what the fuck? No, what's wrong with you? And she put, that looks like a child's penis. I'm reporting this. And then had a screenshot of the national fucking child line thing that she posted.
So
from now on, seriously, that's the response. Just,
okay.
That's a child's penis. I'm reporting you.
I like that. I like that. I feel like that's going to be usable. I hate the fact that it's going to be usable.
How far back are we going into the conversations?
Okay, not
that
super
we're comparing?
far. I'm just going to, because I don't talk to them for very long. I don't talk to them in some cases at all. Like now. Okay, so this one. Okay, so at first, I thought he commented on the show, which always piques my interest.
Right.
I'm like, okay, you've actually listened to the fucking show. Good for you. Yay. And it would seem that he's listened to the show. But then at one point, he was like, so are you married? And I said, no. And they were like, he's like, are you single? And I was like, no.
One or the other. Make a choice.
They were like, it's like, yeah, basically like pick a side. And I'm like, and then they're like, so the fuck? And now to explain this to a vanilla person, when you say you're not married and you say you're not single, they're like, okay, so you're in a relationship, and you're like, yeah, okay. And like you're like, okay, if you want to call. I mean, I don't.
Oh my god, they changed their Facebook status to "It's complicated."
I fucking hate labels. So it's not like if I am your submissive, you damn well know.
Oh yeah,
You
there's
damn well
no
fucking know.
question.
There's no question I'm your submissive, and there's no question about my loyalty to you. There will never be a point at which you have to question what I'm gonna do. Because even before that lifestyle, I've never cheated. It's like that's just not me. You know? So
yeah.
So like there are things that a dominant will know about me by the time I'm their submissive.
Yes.
Period.
Well, that's what. Yeah, the expectations are already
on the
both.
table and agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that fucking thought in mind, let's go down the texting train.
The texting train.
Yeah. So he goes, truer words were never spoken. He goes, you married? I said, no. He's like, you single? And I said, no. And he was like, so you are married? I said, no, I'm owned. I was like, I have a dom. And he goes, some guy you just fuck?
Every
I
dominant in the
please?
fucking world
Is
listening to the show
angry.
is just like, oh no, he did not fucking say that shit.
Every dom in the world is like, he fucking did not just say that.
I've been mastering fucking the single tail whip for 35 years, motherfucker.
Okay, so I was like, and there it is. And there it is, the vanilla impression. And he goes, please forgive my words. Too late. And then I was like, reason
Forgive my words.
Yeah, 1,800,000 blah, 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 blah. I don't do vanilla. And he goes, you don't do vanilla? And I was like, I just have zero interest in bullshit. And men who aren't doms have zero capability to handle me.
Or subs.
True. And he goes, well,
Shout out to the male subs out there.
Yeah.
You'll find your lady. I believe in you.
they're out there. He goes, well, I'm not a dom, I guess. Duh.
You think?
Duh. That wasn't
I
even-
would have never. I get. Did he think he was before you said that?
I think that he had
Something?
like he had something, you know, in his head of what he thought it was. This is another one. This is fucking how I think this shit is fucking fucked up and I hate it. So I put up a story on Instagram. This guy responded to it with like happy smiley faces. So then I linked him to the show. Right? And that's all I sent. And then he was like, it would be good if you gave me a good bounce. I was like, the fuck? A good bounce? Like, I had
What,
never
you want me to
heard-
throw you out of a bar?
I had no idea what that term meant, okay? I'm sorry I asked, because it turns out that it meant fucking.
Oh, I thought he wanted you to throw him out of a bar. I
Yeah.
was like, I mean, we can arrange that.
And then I was like, well, I have a daddy, so I'll kindly pass, but thank you for an offer I didn't want.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you don't have to pretend like you're a good girl. First of all, if you say the word good girl to me and you aren't daddy, fuck you.
Yeah,
Fuck you. I'm
that's
ready to punch
that's-
you in the throat.
That's really fucking up right there.
It is.
That's, you don't.
It is. It's abrasive. I don't want to fucking hear that from anyone else. Period. It's abrasive. I don't want to. Those are daddy's words.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
like that's like waving a fucking red flag
Yeah.
in front of a submissive's
Yeah.
face. Be like, who the fuck are you to call me that?
Yeah. And then he goes, you can relax. Oh, tell me to relax.
Oh,
one more
can
time,
I?
Bitch. I was like, I'm relaxed. I'm just incredibly clear. And he goes, I like that. We'll just wait, or we can pretend. I was like, no, I don't. I was like, I don't pretend. I respect. I'm loyal, and that's the end of this. And then I blocked him.
Yeah.
The fact that it had to go that way. Okay, it's not like I opened fire and like had a conversation with him. By the way,
Now, shall we
let's compare.
have
it.
a look? Let's compare it to the kinky counterpart. Now,
I'm gonna
this
put
is a
some really
message.
hot music right now, right here, because like now we're going to go into why we choose this and choose to kneel, fuckers.
I'm gonna start at the top. This is a message from a male submissive. I'm gonna leave everyone's names out of it.
Yeah,
obviously.
of course.
So he messaged, he said, hi, I hope you're well. And I said, hello, I'm having a very relaxing day. I'm hoping yours is as pleasant, because I'm a sweetheart. And he put, it's good, thank you, miss. Having a relaxing day. Now, normally I get a bit, but it doesn't really, I know a lot of people, it bothers them when somebody that is not their submissive calls them miss or ma'am or mistress or whatever. Generally, it doesn't bother me too much. Miss, well, some of them does, right? Miss doesn't bother me. Ma'am doesn't bother me. But if you started like goddess and stuff like that, that's a bit, calm down, dude.
I don't like being called a goddess either, because I know you're lying.
Well, at this point, because he called me miss, I had to look at his profile to see if it was just a bunch of dick pics and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that he was owned and everything like that. So I said, that's nice of your mistress to give you some time to relax. I hope you thanked her properly. And he said, yes, I will do later, miss. I've been looking after mum too. May I send you a friend request, please?
Oh.
And I said, Said, you seem really lovely. Yes, I would be happy to accept a friend's request. I do hope your mom is okay. And he said, thank you. She's had a knee op. So he's taken time out to take care of his mom because she's had an operation.
He's a giver.
Yeah, well, he's a sub, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, so that's they're all about giving, you know. And I said, oh gosh, you know, we talked a little bit because I had a knee operation as well. And so he put, thank you. It'll be a little while before I feel able to seek play with others, to be honest, but I'm concentrating on serving my mistress for now. What did I say before that? Oh, no, I didn't say anything before that. I put, that's the best way to do it. She's trained you very well. And please tell her that I said you are a credit to her, because he is. He's been extremely well-mannered this entire time. He's not tried to push his fantasies onto me. None of that. And I put, I'm in the same boat at the moment that I'm not ready to play since my breakup a few months ago.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's best to take a step back and focus on what's happening now instead of trying to take on too much at once.
Yep.
And he says, thank you, miss. You never know what might happen in the future. And I said, absolutely. But she's taught you to restraint, which is a valued quality in a sub. Too many on here feel the need to play out their fantasies in the DMs. I find it very telling for how they have been trained and handled previously.
Yep.
And I said, I have to run now, but it was nice to meet you. I'm sure we'll chat again. And the next conversation, he says, thank you, miss. If I'm talking to a switch, I always defer to their dominant side first, which is why he called me miss.
Yep.
He instantly...
That's an excellent sign of respect. He's very well trained.
He's very well trained. Very well trained. He
like,
takes,
I say that I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it in a way of admiration. Like, I find that attractive. Not that he is trained at that level, but that he honors his mistress on that level, that he is that well trained. It's a choice. Like, I really want to emphasize the choice. I feel like vanilla people, and I hope I'm not just making this to anybody who is vanilla and who doesn't think this. I hope I'm not offending you, but like, generally the consensus.
I know they're sitting here listening to us going, God, there's nothing wrong with us.
Yeah, no, like, and there isn't.
There's not.
I have to be honest with you. I've had vanilla sex and I like it. Like, it's just, I need so much more. It is not sex for me. It's
lots
mental.
of kinky people have vanilla sex.
Right.
Sometimes. It's
never. It's a little fun. Sometimes that's the kinky thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, I really want to emphasize that there is a choice. Like, when I really pursue a dominant relationship or I'm looking for I'm the one who's like, this person seems like someone who could bring something to my life that I need. And I feel like someone asked me, well, is it something that you just practice in the bedroom? And I said, no, I live it in some form or fashion at all times. And they said, well, how do you do that? I said, I do it in practice. I'll either be wearing a collar or I'll do tasks or like it is a lifelong strategy. And it's just, it helps my life have cohesiveness to it and consistency to it.
Yeah.
And it gives me an outlet. And they're like, so you actually prefer that someone have a more dominant role? I said, yeah, because if you don't, I'm going to just feel like, I feel more isolated if I feel like I'm...
Yeah.
And if you tell me that you're dominant, I know you're not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I know you're not. Like, a dominant leads by example. They don't have to say it.
No. And with this submissive, he knows his position, his desired position.
He wasn't like, I'm a sub.
And he doesn't.
He acts like a sub.
Yeah, he knows the position that he prefers to be in, and he assumes that position immediately. He's just like, okay, you're a dominant, I'll speak to you as a dominant. You're a switch, I'll defer to the dominant side. If you're a fellow submissive, I'll speak to you as a fellow submissive. Like, he knows the place he wants to be in the relationship tier, and he just takes that position. He's like, that's where I'm supposed to be.
Well, for me, like, I choose to be a submissive. I could be just as functional as a dominant.
Oh yeah.
I like to be submissive to one person, to one fucking person. Well, so
I told him that's very clever. And I do call myself a switch, but I find it hard to find people to submit to, so I seem to be topping more lately, which is based kind of on what you said. It's like, yes, you have the potential. I love to submit.
Yeah.
I love to submit, but finding someone to submit to that's a big task. You know, that's a lot of trust that has to be built up. But I can be a dominant for other people just as easily. And he says, okay, miss, if your partner is okay, I would be happy to submit. And I'll consider it. And he says, thank you, miss. I promise you I will always be polite, respectful, and completely obedient. You're welcome to message my mistress, but she isn't on FetLife much. And I said, understandable. It's difficult to keep up with sometimes.
I don't
and that
life anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pain in the ass to keep up with because they don't have a decent phone app, to be honest. But that's it. That was a conversation. No freaking you single dough.
Yeah, exactly. Like another guy, like if you keep pressing me too, if I've told you I have a dom and you're still pressing me, I'm uncomfortable with you now. Now you're crossing a line, and it makes me uncomfortable for two reasons. Not because I think I'm doing anything wrong, because I know if my dom were to read anything, I'm gonna still look good because I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, I never have to question me.
That was another thing to look at. If you're ever like looking for a submissive and stuff like that, he acknowledged his position, which is obviously very important, but he acknowledged his mistress.
Yep.
He invited contact with his mistress.
Yep.
So it's not like a behind the thing. He's like, go ahead, message my mistress. It might take her a while to read it. And he acknowledged my partner.
Right.
You know, none of
this. He was
this
clearing
like
the air on every front before he ever asked for anything.
Yeah, he was just like, my services are here if you want them. But, you know, and obviously you need to clear it with anyone and all that stuff. Like, I'm obedient as fuck, you know?
That's the level of honesty and clarity that we really seek in this sort of dynamic. Or at least for me, it's a huge attraction. I don't want to figure out who you are after the fact. I really like just knowing. I really don't want to be fucking faked out. I'm so tired of feeling like I'm pulled down the river on the wrong story. I just really want to know who you are. And, you know, the context, I was explaining to the person who interviewed me, I said, you know, some dominant submissive relationships have no determined end, and some of them have contractual ends. You know in advance exactly how long it's going to be. I was
absolutely. There's a lot of contracts that it's like, you will serve me for a period of 3 months, 6 months, a year, and then we'll come back to the table. We'll renegotiate, we'll reevaluate, see where everyone's at, and then, you know, cut loose if you want to cut loose or change things, tweak the. That's the thing. It's something. A BDSM relationship is something that you never stop working on. It's always evolving, always changing. There's new rules added, different ones taken away. Like it's always.
I feel like
changing
when you shift too
with the people changing.
Right.
You know.
Exactly. Like as I change, it changes, and I feel like it was really important to point out today that. You know, just because I feel like this assumption is made that you like being abused, and it's actually quite the opposite. It's the lack of abuse that I crave. The fact that I really do trust my dom, and the same person who was interviewing me, they were like, so what does it mean for you? And I said, well, I turn my soul over to a dom. I was like, it goes from being, and it's not that I'm insane, you know, it's just that it is the total power exchange. I'm giving myself over. Yeah. I'm not going to. Go ahead.
Submission. There's a saying within the community that's been around for fucking ever that it hits the nail on the head. Submission is a gift.
It is.
It is not something you take. It is something that is given.
Right.
Unless you've talked about it beforehand and it's like, I want to submit to you, but I want you to take it. Yeah. And, you know, and everybody's on board.
And people, like, you talk about terms of loyalty. It's like, if I haven't been uncollared, I ain't moving. Like, I don't care what's going on. I'm assuming that I need to remain in my place. That conversation hasn't been had. So unless there are other ways. People who appear to be dominant and then turn out not to be don't really see the significance of that process, and so they'll just ghost you. Yeah. Still can happen. Yeah. Still can fucking happen.
There are, don't get us wrong, there are just as many fucking assholes in the BDSM community as there are in the vanilla community, but they're outed a bit easier in the BDSM community. Like people.
Well, and can you explain to like someone? Because I'm not a masochist, but I know you are. So
Yeah.
could you explain to somebody what the difference between abuse and masochism is?
Okay.
Because to me,
Are you talking about
it's
physical,
clear.
like the physical thing?
Yes, because I know
Okay.
the difference, and I also know. First of all, everybody's agreeing parties, and that's a huge fucking difference right there. But
Yeah, that's the biggest difference is consent. Consent is the difference. And the warm up, that's a big difference as well. Like, as a masochist, I am not going to be happy if Ben comes home from work one day and just fucking punches me in the face.
Right.
That is not what masochism is.
Right.
You know?
you're like, first of all, that's not the context. We didn't even have this conversation. Like,
Yeah. Like, it's not the same thing.
Right.
When you're in a scene, the physical punishment that you're getting and that adrenaline rush that comes with it is so very different to any form of what I consider to be actual physical violence. Mainly, the relationship between a sadist and a masochist is an interesting one because we have these needs that everyone tells you from the time you're fucking born is not okay.
right,
That shit's not. It's not okay to want someone to hurt you.
right,
And it's not okay to want to hurt someone else.
Right.
And it's certainly not okay to be turned on by either of those things.
right.
So
So they say.
they say. But the thing about vanillas is that they don't understand the structure of a scene.
Right.
And that's what it's really about for masochists. There is a structure there and there are ways about it. Like, I've seen people hardly warm up at all and just fucking go flat out. And I've seen people that do warm-ups for so long that it transitions into the actual impact play and you don't realize when it's happened because
Yeah.
it was just such a slow build, which is
Right.
how I tend to do it when I'm doming. It's a slow build. I have infinite patience to hurt you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to catch
and-
her in Guantanamo Bay. To fucking make you wish that you didn't have any appendages. You'll be cutting them off just to end it sooner.
But yeah, when you're receiving pain as a masochist, the setting is completely different. Your headspace is completely different, and physical sensation feels completely different. And for a lot of masochists, it's about boundary pushing. Because if you make it through this, it's like you have like,
Ascended.
I don't know, it's just this ascended. That's a great fucking word for it.
I know.
Um,
I'm not a
because you-
masochist, but I've experienced some of the things you're talking about, and so I get
You
that.
know, anybody that plays sports or acts or is a musician, anybody that pushes themselves,
They can identify with that.
that's the
emotion.
feeling.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that it's the same emotion. It's that same like adrenaline rush and just ecstatic feeling of, I don't know, success. I have succeeded.
Do you feel
And
like-
then there's subspace, which is a very different thing.
Right.
Sorry, subspace is a very different thing. Subspace,
Let's talk about subspace.
yeah. Let's talk about subspace.
We've never talked about subspace ever.
Or dom space.
Well, yeah, but I don't operate there.
I do. I can
mean,
give you the skinny. I can give
yeah.
you the skinny on dom space.
Yeah, and it's not that I'm not capable. It's that I'm always fucking alpha all day. I don't want to be at home.
I'll give you guys a quick description of both.
Yeah.
Right. Subspace feels like almost like you're in some sort of psychedelic dream world headspace. Like you feel just so ecstatic. It's like a fucking religious experience. Like you
feel like you've
all,
been
like-
baptized.
yeah, every sensation you have is heightened. And
Yeah.
I mean every single one. Like you see your eyesight gets clearer, your
You're
ears
like the
are more
most
sensitive
relaxed,
to sound.
the most happy, like the most, like you're all of that.
Yeah. And it's like connecting with a very animalistic primal part of yourself. You just let go. I mean, completely let go. All that shit in your head that you think about all the time,
Doesn't exist.
gone.
Yep.
Does not exist at all. The only thing that exists is this space that you're in. Dom space is very different. For me, I can't speak for every dominant, but for me, Dom space feels like... Have you ever been in a fight, Shade?
Like, what kind of fight? That
Like,
probably
have you ever
answered the question right there. Not really.
Have you ever chased someone?
Yeah.
Like, have you been pissed off and you're chasing them down the road?
I was once attacked, so yes.
Right.
I got mine.
So you feel this thing in your head almost switch on, and it's very ancient and it feels very predatory. You are
like, I'll eat you.
Oh shit.
Yeah. You are. I mean, your focus. It's like you get pinpoint focus.
Yeah.
Like your aim. If you're in Dom space, your aim is never fucking better. Like you get
It's so funny.
You get so focused, and your head is just fucking clear, and it is like you're running on this raw instinct of what humans must have been like thousands of years ago or something, because it is just so primitive feeling and fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And you're controlling this person, and it's being in Dom. There is no subspace in Dom space. There is no sensation on earth, and I've done a lot of fucking drugs.
Well, they're not really comparable.
Like either of
'cause they're-
those.
Yeah, they're both powerful, but they're not really comparable because
But they're very different. Yeah, they're very different. And what's amazing about being a switch or a really, really experienced Dom, because they'll know, having watched it so many times, is this thing inside you that feels so predatory and so like, I'm going to eat you, like you said earlier, is making this other person feel that fucking psychedelic, dreamy, like bliss. And it is just, I mean, there is nothing like it. There's
paradise.
no sensation like it. Yeah. There is no sensation like it at all. But that's also why in most dungeons you're not allowed to drink or anything.
You know what?
You're on soda. It's a sober night.
I've heard it called going to Eden. And I was like, that's
Yeah.
a really good way of calling it.
That's from an old book
Going
from
to
long ago. It was called Exit to Eden, I thought. But there's an old book long ago about these cops that go undercover to this BDSM festival to try to catch
really?
this one dude. Yeah. Pretty good. They made a movie about it. They made like a movie of it in the 90s with Rosie O'Donnell or something.
Oh no, ain't seen it. Ain't seen it.
Finish him.
I think it's based on the same book. I have like a vague recollection of it.
So, do you feel like I'm sure you have friends that are vanilla, right? Or do you?
I'm trying to think. Hold on.
There's not a lot of friends that are vanilla.
Yeah. I've got a couple.
So
I think one of my friends, she's a gold star lesbian. She's vanilla.
welcome.
And I think there's another friend I have that's a couple of friends I've got that are vanilla.
So do you feel
sure.
like they interpret your life as like, oh my god, or do you think that they look at you still being vanilla, obviously? Well, do you think they look at you and they're like, not for me, but interesting?
My lesbian friend absolutely is that way. She's like, yeah, it's not for me. Looks fun as hell, but like one of those, if you weren't with Ben and I wasn't with my girl,
Right, gotcha.
we were out drinking one night, But to be fair, she everything I've heard about her in bed, she's a fucking demon in the sack, so she'd probably be up for anything.
Sounds
but
like my
yeah,
kind of friend.
most of them, honestly, what I've noticed with interacting with vanillas, when I talk freely to them about this stuff, is that they are extremely curious. They want to know everything about it. They want to know all the sort of details. They'll have a million questions. And
sometimes y'all ask questions that I wouldn't ask anyone. Like, I'm open, but like when you ask me, even like that one guy, so you just have someone you fuck? I didn't even say I slept with my dom, by the way. fucker.
There are non-sexual,
non-sexual
fucking BDSM
dominant.
relationships.
Yes, there are.
There are kinky people that are asexual.
Yep.
As
there
well.
are. Yeah.
So
I'm just
you
gonna
need to put
say,
that
like-
heteronormative out of your head right now, Mr. Guy.
Fuck you!
Hetero garbage? Did you just say hetero garbage? I fucking love that.
That's gonna make it to the t-shirts.
Yep. Dude. So
No hetero garbage of this.
y'all can vote on phrases that you think need to be on your tits because I'm actually developing store shit this week. Yeah, I want something. I go to the gym now, so I need something on my boobies that's representative of our show. Haha.
Yes. Just you need like a sports bra that's just got my face on it. Just my face, really big across the whole thing.
Be like on the bag, just like right on the strap. That's my wife.
Well, do the one for Saturday first, so that everyone can know how narrowly we escaped death.
Okay.
And then the Florida one is the main one.
Okay.
You know.
Which I feel like has a little duality to it. People, you like fucking Cuz Florida. That's one of your favorite segments. Now we're blending segments. Apocalypse Watch, Cuz Florida, all in one fucking place. Okay.
The time is slipping inexorably away.
Cuz Florida.
Man, we got 'em down in Florida. We welcome you to the Sunshine State. A Category 5 hurricane couldn't spoil the day in Florida.
So, asteroid on collision course with Earth breaks into pieces before impact. Thanks, guys.
And none of you fuckers knew either, did you? I didn't until I was looking up shit. Like it. That's
Dude,
the
I
thing.
was at
That's
the
what
movies
that's
watching
what makes that
Mission
story
Impossible.
So great.
Which, by the way, sucked. I fell asleep. It's actually one of the first movies in a long time I've watched by myself. Well, I watch a lot of movies by myself, but like I went and I fell asleep during the movie. It was that fucking boring.
God damn.
Yeah. It's
The mission
sad.
was not impossible enough.
It wasn't. It was so stereotypical and so over the top. I was like, pfft. Okay, NASA discovered a boulder-sized asteroid destined for Earth on Saturday, but the large space rock broke up miles before impact. Thanks, Guy. We really are grateful that all of a sudden you just like decided to explode like I do on a regular basis mentally.
I mean,
the fuck? How does that happen?
well, what gets me is like there was nothing about it. There was no warning. What if it hadn't broken up right outside of our atmosphere?
can I
Because
just point
pieces
out-
of it did rain down.
You know what? Holy fucking shit. I actually think would we have been able to see this from Florida,
Yes.
do you think? Okay, because
Oh,
I
from
was
Florida?
at the beach.
I don't know.
I was at the beach. This could maybe not be related, so I'm just gonna put this out there anyway, though. I was sitting on the beach. It was Saturday night, and I remember seeing what seemed like fucking fire in the sky, like just like a one dot.
I mean,
but it could have been a shooting
it was
star.
probably related.
But it could have been related.
It was most likely related.
It was probably that
the
I almost
asteroid was
died
there.
again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
add
and
that
we
to my
all
tick
almost
marks.
see that. That's the thing. Do you think that they didn't warn anyone because it was before it broke up? The size of it meant that if it hit the Earth, that would have been it anyway, regardless. So there was no point. There was no hiding from it.
I mean,
or do you think they just didn't notice until it was right up our ass?
I know they knew. They fucking knew. Way before shit gets close, we always know. In fact, that missing flight that we're like, we don't know what happened. No, we fucking know what happened to it, guys. We fucking know what happened to it. In fact, shout out to Steve on Baked and Awake, who's probably loving this conversation right now because it's the only conspiracy. But that flight that went missing a handful of years ago, my friend who was in the military was like, are you fucking kidding me? Do you really think that we don't know? She was like, we know. It's just not the big we knows. She's like, the collective we doesn't know. She was like, the militarized government we know. Like, she's like, it's just fucked up that way. She was like, so, like, I told her, I made an offhand comment. I was like, Well, if we're ever gonna blow up, we won't know that either. She's like, probably not.
No. Of course not. Well, and this just proves it.
And this does. I'm going to read the article. It says, NASA discovered an asteroid heading straight for the Earth, but watched it disintegrate. Watched it didn't move. Okay, they were like, it's too late, guys. Let's just watch
we're
it go.
fucked.
They're all getting... But here's the twisted part. Y'all could have just, like, legalized everything really quick so we could have had, like, a lot
Like
of
the
opportunity.
fucking purge.
Yeah, seriously. Just, like, real opportunistic behavior for just, like, a whole minute. And then... so he can learn not to be a serial killer. I feel like that's how I'd get over being a serial killer. If someone pegged me on a regular basis, I'd be like, yep, I'm not gonna kill again.
Bye, Felicia.
Killing is too much because this hurts.
I think we should do all. I think instead of the death penalty, we should instead of the death penalty, we should use like the people that everyone wants to kill, like pedophiles, sex offenders, serial killers, and shit like that, for all of our medical testing and all of our cosmetics test. Like instead of doing animal testing, we just test it on them because it's meant to be used on humans anyway.
And animals.
So
there you go.
So you get better data just testing it on these fuckers than the cute bunnies.
You know what? I think that's an adorable idea. Although as soon as you started going down that road and you were like, you know what we should do with them? And I was thinking to myself, like, way more fucked up shit than what you came up with. You were like, here's a means to an end. And in my head, I was like, incinerate them. Like,
dude, if you ever think that like medical testing isn't fucked up enough for people like that,
it is.
There's a case, and I can't remember his name to save my fucking life right now because I was not prepared to go into this, but he was exposed in Japan to a massive amount of radiation. Ooh. And they kept him alive to see what the different stages were of being exposed to this massive amount of radiation. By the end of it, and for those listening, there are pictures. You can Google this. By the end of it, his flesh and his muscle and everything was just falling off of his bones. He was goo. He was just goo.
He was just goo.
He fucking was. Like, you look at it, it's like...
talking about a flaccid penis now, but he was just goo.
It was like fucking straps that would hold his arms and legs, and then like a puddle on this hospital bed. It is fucked up. You can Google it. There are pictures. It is fucked up.
Well, it says, okay, so in Johannesburg, you could have seen webcam footage of the of this shit coming at us, basically. It looked like a glowing orb lighting up the sky in a huge flash. NASA dubbed the asteroid 2018 LA and had predicted that it would make its entry in an area somewhere over southern Africa. Oh, maybe that's why they didn't care. And then across the Indian Ocean to New Guinea. Yep, that's why we didn't hear about it. They were like, we don't care.
Yeah, but it would have killed them too. It would have killed like...
I know, but see, the thing is that Americans are
these
really...
motherfuckers...
We're really narrow-minded. Stop thinking like we care.
Oh, don't sit there and tell me Americans never heard of motherfucking El Nino. We all know what El Nino is. Every single fucking person learned about El Nino and the currents and how it carries shit. Every fucker over there knows that. So if they're like, oh, fuck it, we'll just nuke over there, then they're stupid. They need to think of El Nino.
She's like, think it through. Think it through,
man. El Nino.
It says, oh, here we go. And Lindley Johnson, an official at NASA's planetary defense team. Great job defending us, watching it just disintegrate on its own.
I guess she's like, I bet they gave her that job, and she was like, what the fuck does that mean? And they're like, yeah, you're the defense team. And it's like, what do you expect me to do? Like, she's like playing, have you ever seen that game Asteroid? She's playing that from her office. Yeah, she's like, do I get like a gun or something? Do I have to fly up in a plane? Like, what?
Pew, pew, pew. This real world event allows us to exercise our capabilities and gives us some confidence. Our impact prediction models are adequate to respond to the potential impact of a larger object. Okay, how did you respond? Because nobody fucking did anything. Y'all just saw it happen.
There was
I can
no
eyeball
response.
shit too, Lindley.
I feel like watching the meteor head towards the Earth, like taking notes, like, yeah, we're tracking it really well. And it's like, should we fucking tell someone or something?
Oh,
like,
no, here's the best part. I'm so glad you just said that because I can't even say this shit. The planetary defense team are tasked with tracking and warning of asteroids that pose a threat to planet Earth. NASA say they define asteroids as small remnants of collisions in the solar system's history. They are generally made up of rock-forming minerals like olivine and pyroxene.
Isn't fucking everything in the universe a result of former collisions elsewhere in the universe?
But can also contain iron and nickel. Oh, good to know that you can have a whole $5 bill full of destruction.
I'd be haggling like a motherfucker. I'd be like, no, you don't understand.
Give me your quarter.
Is space iron. This is space iron. This is like the real shit. You don't even fucking want to fuck with it.
Oh my God.
Stupid ass earth iron. Nobody wants earth iron.
I'm putting this video on really quick. Oh my God.
Oh, she watched the video.
Holy fuck.
Did we almost die?
Have you
Did we all
seen
almost
it?
die? No.
Dude, yeah, I would have thought this is a webcam of a barn right now. It's a hay barn right now. And had this asteroid come a little higher, that shit would be all on fire right now. But this was in northwest South Africa, on a farm between Ottesdale and Hartbeesfontein. And I'm not kidding.
That's the best.
Fontein.
That's the best fucking name of a place I have ever heard in my life.
And I hope I'm saying it wrong. I really do. I hope I'm saying it wrong. Yeah.
Where is it?
It's in South Africa.
South Africa?
So yeah, northwest South Africa. Thank you for deciding all directions are relevant.
Northwest South Africa.
How can you be northwest South Africa? I guess because it's between those two places. Between Ottesdale and Hartbeesfontein, whatever the fuck. Okay, second story up, which is gonna be a little bit nearer and dearer to my heart. Oh, Florida.
Fucking Florida. Florida's gonna kill us all one day. Mark my words.
I swear we're really on a mission here. Okay, Florida City warns of extreme zombie activity during a power outage. No one else would do this. It makes me so happy. I have to see when this was published to see if we were affected by the same power outage. It's that close. Oh. So it just says recent story, so, okay. Lake Worth residents receive an alert at 2 a.m. local time.
At 2 a.m. So the people getting that alert are going to be exactly the people you want getting that alert.
You know the people getting that alert are the ones who are like, get the fuck out back! This is what we've been training for! Alright, city later clarifies that there is no zombie activity currently. Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know.
We
Somebody
rolled
later?
it back as only Floridians can. Just kidding. Just kidding.
They say currently, so I mean, maybe tomorrow the zombie activity.
Dude, it wasn't even April Fool's Day. There's no fucking excuse for this shite. So this is residents of Florida City, Lake Worth. Okay, I can literally throw a fucking rock super hard into the ghetto and then it's there. Okay. Usually I'm sure the alerts that they're used to having is, oh, there was a shootout at the Y. Like, it's like that kind of place. Residents of Florida City who received alerts about a power outage were also warned to look out for zombies. The Palm Beach Post reported that Lake Worth residents received the message during the power outage on Sunday. So 2 a.m. is Sunday. The alert warned of a power outage and zombie alert for residents of Lake Worth and Terminus.
I wonder if they thought the asteroid falling Saturday would cause zombies on Sunday.
Somebody has hacking skills, bar none, probably the best ones we've ever seen. The latter a reference to a city in the hit TV show The Walking Dead. So they were kind of like making a joke, I guess.
Dead alive, open inside.
Yeah, a city spokesman, Ben Kerr, later posted a Facebook message saying officials were investigating the bogus alert and wanted to reiterate the Lake Worth does not have any zombie activity currently. I love how they said currently instead of it's never gonna happen. We're like,
Currently,
just right now.
That's fucking part of that article.
Kerr said 7,880 customers lost power, but it was restored within 30 minutes. He did not mention what really caused the outage. Probably the fucking zombies. Like, dude, you just said it. You're just covering it up.
It was
currently
it's clearly zombies.
Zombies are the gnomes. You know it was the fucking lawn gnomes, one or the other. Yeah. I feel like Florida really takes the cake on crazy this week. They win.
This week?
Okay. I feel like, okay, so I like to think that Florida has a running chance against like some really psychotic countries out there. But when it comes to like the 50 states, we are the fucking craziest. We win. We are the one.
Oh, God, yeah.
We're the psycho X that blows up your phone.
Hey, man! Hey, man! Hey, man!
I think that Florida isn't actually part of the natural realm. I think that Florida is probably purgatory.
I would agree. 100%. I'm living in purgatory. Yep.
Like that mixture of heaven and hell colliding in only the way that it can in Florida.
It is the most like delectable Chinese water torture you've ever had. Like, you're gonna think to yourself, oh, it's beautiful outside, but inside you're like, but the money is shit and the fucking people suck, and if one more New Yorker tries to T-bone me, I'm gonna murder. Like,
and they have zombies.
I got carjacked in my first month here. Like, the motherfucker actually would have gotten it if my mug weren't as large as it was. Have a big mug in your car, ladies, at all times, and then make sure you're packing heat. That's what I do now.
Man, Florida is...
We suck.
It is. It's purgatory. It's purgatory. It's where you wait for your soul to be decided where it moves to.
You're like, and if you don't pray me out of here, I'm just gonna be here. Well, that's good though, because against your will, we're actually gonna be reunited at some point.
Yay!
Because ain't neither of us going straight to hell, heaven, or anywhere else. I don't even know that. I think we evaporate after this. I really do. Although someone told me that I was reincarnated, that this is not my first life. So I tend to believe somebody who thinks that strongly.
I'm a witch, so I get to go to Summerland probably.
That sounds
or
really
like
dope.
Valhalla. Summerland is supposed that's a Wiccan thing actually. Summerland, it's like the Wiccan afterlife, and they in their religion, that's where witches go when we die, and it's meant to be this great forest with loads of like animals and stuff.
Kind.
Yeah, it's like being in freaking Big Sur in California all the time.
Like the perfect world for that sounds pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
What is your audition process like?
To become a witch, I mean, I think you just kind of do it. I think it's some.
That's
yeah, I mean, there's. No, I mean, you have to learn like.
Oh no.
You have to learn stuff.
And
but I mean, a lot of it, to me anyway, is more about preserving these ancient traditions that have been passed down from word of mouth for fucking ever during inquisitions and fucking witch burnings and all that shit. And what's left, we have, and then we've just added our own shit over the years. And so there's a lot of flexibility in it. When you're a witch, there is no, yes, okay, there are Wiccans that practice a general religion. There are types of pagans and witches that practice a general, like there's a similar backbone to their craft. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it has to do with how you individually hone those skills, because it works different for everyone. You know, that's why there's so many different kinds. That's why we have sea witches and fucking storm witches and all manner gray witches, all manner of different types, because different things in our world resonate with different witches.
I feel
You
like
know?
that was like an informational. I'm putting some bitching music behind that because that was like an informational, like how to. Like
I think
this is how
I think
you
if
could
it's,
dip your toe in.
yeah, if you want to dip your toe in to paganism,
What a phrase! If you want to dip your toe into paganism,
if you want to dip your toe in, I think a good thing to do is to think about what is it that causes you to feel that way. Did you watch a movie or read something and a particular thing resonated with you, or are you just curious, or what? You know,
Are you
and
just curious.
yeah, and then go from there, because there are so many different types of witches, and you can spend a lifetime just figuring out
what
it is that you enjoy,
Yeah.
and that works for you. Because what works for you isn't going to be the same thing that works for a different. Like, let's say you have a Wiccan, a Luciferian, and a hoodoo practitioner, a root worker. They're gonna, and you say, this is the result of what I want to happen. They're gonna use 3 different types of ceremony and ritual and spell work and whatever
Everything's different.
to get it to do it, to accomplish the same goal. So really, it's finding the path that feels natural to you. You know,
You want to know? You want to know what? You know what I love about how when you get on a topic, you just start like. Because that's like your fucking superpower. Swear to God, I don't care what she's talking about. She'll draw me in. That is her fucking. That's your witch technique, dude. You're drawing me in. You're fucking the allure of your. You're like the siren on the fucking water, and I'm like, okay.
But yeah, it is. It's a very long process and of exploration. Like, personally, I feel I'm gonna get shit from this. I hope none of my other English witches hear this, but I feel more comfortable at the beach or in the desert than I do in a forest. You know,
I'm obsessed with water, so I get that.
Yeah. Whereas some, like I said, they draw their inspiration from Egyptian, you know, old Egyptian ceremonies. I mean, there's Thelemites that follow Crowley's works. There's so many different things that's the best thing to do before you dip your toe in, is to think about what it is that feels right to you and what it is you want out of it and what you're expecting to get from it, you know? Because, like, I love hearing about pre-witches witches. Now, what that means is, what did you do before you actually found your very first book, learned your very first spell, before you knew that there was what things did you do that you can look back on and say, okay, clearly I was drawn to that because I used to do this, and this, you know? With me, it was, I had this real obsession with mythology when I was a kid. And I used to do offerings to different goddesses and stuff.
God, this does not surprise me at all.
Little kid me, I would get, like, depending on who it was, like if it was Artemis, I think, oh God, I can't even remember. When I was a kid, it was like, I would do like offerings of milk and flowers and honey and like shit like that, you know, and I would have it and meditate with it and then pour it into the forest. And then obviously, so when I found when I got my first book on witchcraft was, oh God, I think it was A Guide to the Solitary Practitioner. I think it was Scott Cunningham was the very first book I got. And I stole it from a bookstore because I lived in a hyper-Christian area of Texas, you know, and I was a little kid. And, you know, they will fucking burn you at the stake still down there.
Yeah, Texas doesn't play with their level of commitment to, what would you call it, like Christianity?
Jeebus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda.
So
I love that.
So yeah, I stole it, and that was my first book. I stole that one, and I stole one on the Tree of Life, Kabbalah.
Oh,
and so
okay.
that was like my starting 2 books that I took. And then like later on, I stole one on the black arts, and it was called the black arts. And I was like, left-hand path. Awesome. I can learn about this. And I stole it thinking that it was a book about it, but it fucking wasn't. It was like some other book that was just like, beware, you know, Satan and shit. and I was like, man, this is bullshit. I know I didn't pay for it, but this is bullshit, you know?
Like, this is the worst waste of time I've 5-finger lifted all day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was so pissed.
Well, oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, maybe this is why you're so good at Strain of the Week. Because, like, you're naturally magical and chill, and, like, you always have... Like, to me, in my mind, you're, like, the best strain.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, like, the best compliment anyone's ever given me, I
You're
think.
my Strain of the Week every week.
Oh.
I love you.
Oh, I love you.
I think we really should give somebody a strain this week, because I have to tell you, I need to start branching out. I'm getting a little bored with the same 6 strains.
Oh.
That I have. Like, I need to start asking for specific strains now, so maybe you'll come up with one that I need.
Maybe. This week's Strain of the Week.
Yay! Strain of the Week!
Jilly Bean. I picked it because its name is adorable.
That's really cute.
It is so cute.
I'm
Jilly
in a cute
Bean.
mood today. I feel like I could be wearing pink even.
Oh, you should totally wear pink today.
I should.
Jilly Bean tastes like mango and pineapple, kind of. You know, if weed were to taste like mango and pineapple.
All right.
60% sativa leaning, but it is an indica hybrid. It's cross from Space Queen and Orange Skunk.
Okay, I've had Orange Skunk, but never had the other one. The other one's Space
I've never had
Queen?
Space Queen either, and I really want to because that
Sounds
name is amazing.
awesome. Maybe that should be our inaugural strain to smoke together when we finally are met. When we finally meet in person. By the way, I don't know what anybody else fucking thinks, but if you aren't donating to our PayPal to make that a reality for us to actually be in the same room recording, then you don't love us.
Oh,
because I love her and I
that's
want to see her like
true.
immediately. Now,
I want to see you too. That'd be so good. That'd be so cool.
She's about to be fucking nomadic, guys. So back to her strain.
Yeah, back to our strain. The reason it's called Jilly Bean is because it was a hybrid created by a grower named Jill.
Oh, Jilly Bean.
It's more of a cerebral high. You still get some body indica sensations,
So
like
there's
the
like
euphoria
CBD elements, but it's mostly like the euphoria, like maybe creativeness.
Yeah, because it's like the body high is a really mild sort of just that, you know, that when your body just relaxes.
Yeah, it just doesn't care.
On a body high.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get a rush of euphoria and you get loads of energy.
I like the euphoria strains. Those are nice. Like, I like to feel happy.
And this is another one of those mood elevator strains that, I mean, lots of giggliness and being all giddy and just silly. Like when you get silly high. This is one of those that'll give you silly high.
I like the I most often I smoke the or I vape this Blue Dream. And it's good, but I like it for a lot of the reasons you mentioned. It was like it's a sativa indica hybrid, but it's indica dominant. So like for my anxiety, it doesn't trigger me. So is this one that somebody, if they have anxiety like I do, they could still smoke it and be all right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can. I mean, I know a lot of sativa strains is not really very good for anxiety, but this one, because it's such a mood elevator, it makes you just sort of want to socialize.
Like,
you know,
want to be interactive. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, you want to be interactive. You want to, like, it's a good one for when you're at, like, going to a house party or something.
Okay.
It'll make you more social and more just giggly and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So it's quite good. But that says, or that being said, sorry. That being said, if you smoke really high doses of it, it can cause like headaches and paranoia.
Okay.
So, you know, smoke responsibly, smoke
Be
sensibly.
responsible, guys. Come on.
We shouldn't have to tell you guys this.
Responsible.
But yeah, it is good for anxiety. It's good for stress. It's good for depression. It's good for cramps, ladies.
Oh.
This.
Okay, right now.
This is one.
I'm gonna be like,
Yeah,
come
write
on,
that
people.
shit down.
Hook me up, please. Somebody. Anybody.
It is good for cramps. It's good for migraines, and it's good for insomnia.
Oh, so like everything I'm dealing with right now. Great.
Yeah, but it is not for your other medical users out there. It is not that great for severe pain. If you're in severe pain, you need a different
Something
strain.
stronger.
You need something stronger. Yeah. This isn't going to be.
Can I make a suggestion for anybody who has like really severe pain? One that's worked for me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, totally.
So Granddaddy Perp, and I'm sure a lot of people have smoked it in their lifetime. It's not an uncommon strain per se, but for someone like me who has like really severe body pain. In fact, my knee this week I'm getting evaluated again because I'm pretty sure I have some of my equipment coming out from my replacement.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I think it's because I've been working out so much and like running and shit. And so I've been having a lot of pain in my knee. And then I've also had to walk in heels a lot from, modeling and shit recently. And it hurts after, like, now I can feel shit. That Granddaddy Perp is the only shit that takes the edge off. So if you have serious, like, bone pain, muscle fatigue, shit like that, that's the one. But I will say, that motherfucker will knock you out. Like, you better be ready to nap. You ain't doing anything active. You in the couch.
See, this strain only goes up to like I think the highest THC test they did on it was still only like 18%.
Oh yeah.
So it's not strong
you're,
enough.
Highly functioning there. You're not gonna. It's not gonna knock you out or anything. Yeah, that's good though.
Absolutely. So if anybody listening has had Jilly Bean,
then
I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, and you can call us at 407-984-6919. For once, leave us a message, please.
Please.
We love everybody. You know what? Oh, I should check to see if we have any new reviews. Somebody said that they were going to write a review. Let's see if we actually did it.
Ooh.
We're on Spotify now, as we found out last episode, which is super exciting. And they do have the most current feed, which is amazing. So
that's fantastic.
So at least they do. I don't know why other places are still locked up. I know Podcast Keeper hasn't figured us out yet. I mean, not Podcast Keeper, Podcast Addict. I don't know why I said the other one.
Podcast Addict.
They just have us. They have both feeds in the system, but it's like, okay, yeah, he didn't write the review yet. But I have spoken to him. I have spoken to him, and he was like, he likes that we have the chemistry we have. He likes the sound bites that we use, and he likes the topics we talk about. So,
aww.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. We're always, if you guys have iTunes and want to write us a review, we'd certainly appreciate it and love you lots and lots. But only if you give us 5 stars, because otherwise you're just dead to us. Fuck you. I think that's a good as place as any to be like, please tip the ladies at paypal.me/tip the ladies and love us. I didn't do a full intro today because I feel like we just ran into it.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
We have a normal intro before we start, so it's like, hey, you bitches know where you're coming.
I got all these daddy issues.
All right, well, we're really happy that y'all joined us this week. We kind of had a chill episode.
We had a very chill episode this week.
I feel like we covered a lot of shit that we should have been covering.
It was a chill episode, but there was also, we almost all died from asteroids and possible zombies.
Yeah, we were so informative. We're better than Channel 5, fuckers. Now you don't even need your forget any other source of media. If you just listen to us once a week, if I get the episode out, in time, then you'll have all the information that's really relevant. You'll know what strain you need. You'll know how to deal with children. You'll know what's going on in the BDSM world, and you'll know if you almost died this week, and you'll appreciate it. Yay! In summation, daddy issues. Bye!
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Daddy Issues, brought to you by the Dirty Minds of the Damaged Goods Network. Don't forget to tip the ladies at paypal.me/tiptheladies. Find more guilty pleasures and our dirty secrets at damagedgoodsinc.com. Click, play, obsess.